Good afternoon, or evening, it's January 30th, 2024. It's 6 o'clock meeting for the Townsend Finance Committee, calling the meeting to order at 6:06 p.m. The first item on the agenda was call to order as we have remote person, we'll need roll call vote, please. Roll call attendance.
Gerald Bazikas.
Mark Hussey.
Andrea Wood.
And Don Hayes. With that, there are 4 people. We have a quorum for the Finance Committee, so we can continue. This meeting is being recorded for playback on YouTube later and being played live on the Channel 9. And it will be played back again on Channel 9 also. At this point, the additions or deletions, I just did not, I have one item to add on, hit it as the first item in the work list. There was a new committee created, working committee called Internet Committee, and they're looking for a member of the Finance Committee.
What is it?
It's an internet, it's just called Incident Committee. So it's going to be the first item, so we'll move on to the work session, talk about the Incident Committee. It was sent out to department heads, the police, fire, town administrator, Finance Committee, Board of Selectmen. So it's just when an item comes up, it's going to be a call for a meeting to bring this group of individuals. It could be anything. Let's say when the air conditioning broke and we needed to replace it. You may have facilities needs to come in, present the case, and then how do we address it? Whether it's is there a need financially? How can we address it financially with it? If I'm not sure of anything else, let's say there was an IT, something with IT broke down, there was an incident, we were hacked or ransomware, is it hacked? There's all sorts of, the police would have to be involved to investigate it. It's kind of like, so it becomes a single place to bring an incident to get addressed that maybe.
So how would that
Department.
that one person from our department address that? We really can't do anything.
We can't do anything, but we can discuss what the financial options may be.
Yes, but
whether it's
it would have to be a public meeting, and you might not want that out. I mean, not that you want it hidden, but you don't want it publicly discussed either.
True. So it might be a committee that gets together and is executive session only. Something like that.
No, there you're in trouble again with other
Yeah, I
things.
was gonna say you can't do that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's kind of like.
I'd rather pass on that myself. I wouldn't want to get involved.
No, me
I don't
neither.
know exactly, again, I don't.
Without
know
knowing,
exactly what the parameters are.
that's a vast area of incident,
Maybe we
There are,
could make an appointment with Eric to come and discuss this with us some other time.
they said once they had all members from all the departments, they sent 2, there would be a meeting to have the discussion. So after the meeting, we'll bring it back. And see, for now, I will attend the meeting as representative for the Finance Committee. After that, I would also recommend, if it is something that is ongoing and we have to have representation, that we have a backup, just in case. There are, personally, I do have a trip coming up later in what would be the 4th quarter, that I would be out of touch for a few days.
Maybe I'm missing, I just don't know what we could accomplish. What would be accomplished?
Yeah, exactly. What are the types of things that are going to come in?
Right. I mean, if it's that big of a deal,
Mhm.
a decision needs to be made that night. Is that what we're talking about? I mean, and how,
Yeah, so.
without the backing of the fellow board members here, how would you want to make that decision?
It sounds to me like you're trying to form a committee that can overstep
Okay.
the
Yeah,
position
you gotta
of
be
the
careful.
committee if you don't like it.
Yeah.
It seems to me a big power grab, and I think this is a huge, huge mistake.
Mhm. Well, once we see the details behind it,
Yeah, we should probably look at the details, but
Yeah.
it sounds kind of weird.
it does.
I'm
Okay.
involved in so many other things, I'm gonna just say no. I don't want
Okay, no, it's kind of like, we don't know what it is,
If we knew more about it, I'd be more receptive, maybe.
Yeah, so we'll get more information and bring it back at another time. But as they have a,
If you're gonna go to that meeting, Don, I would like a positive, perhaps even in writing, opinion from council regarding this
actually,
kind of committee.
yeah, actual town council is on the list of people on this incident committee.
I'd like this opinion in writing.
Mm-hmm, okay, yep, understood. We'll get that and see where it is and how it may be addressed in bylaws and things. And exactly what they're planning to use this committee for. Yeah. Okay, it's open. We'll get more information on this. Okay. No votes, nothing. It's kind of like we'll get more information on the incident committee and add it to the agenda item, or is an agenda item in a future meeting.
Okay.
Because I don't know when they may pull it together.
By
Next,
the law,
yeah.
you can't make a commitment for all of us, can you?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
No, I don't, no, it's nothing, I did not feel it would be anything, that I would make a decision that instead of all 6 members of the finance committee, I didn't take that at all. I was thinking it was present potential options that if they choose one, then we bring it in and vote for it, or we bring it back, having a meeting and determine what our potential actions could be and bring it back to them.
I know how cautious you are, and I know you wouldn't deliberately do it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you agree to something, and you just think you're agreeing,
Mm-hmm.
construed later to mean something else.
Yeah.
That was all.
Okay. No, we'll be very cautious with that. We'll find out later on as we get to budgets and start reviewing budgets. Someday, which I had forwarded out what had come into this point, and we'll do that. But next item on the agenda was the review. Oh, I should share. Sorry. Let me go ahead and share so we can.
Don?
Yes, hi, Sam.
Yep, I just want to make you know I'm here.
Okay, thank you, and I'll mark you on the roll call, and that gives us a total of 5. So,
Thank you.
thank you. Share my screen. Okay. Okay, so agenda. Next item on the agenda was last meeting, which probably was December. We had questions about the revolving account for the recreation. The request had come in for finance committee to approve the $100,000 level for that.
to. That was 25,000. What are you talking about?
The rec committee,
The revolving fund for the recreation.
the amount they could actually.
Oh.
The amount that's gonna come in and out
Right.
all year.
Right.
It's kind of like,
Right.
because they went over the amounts for the year 2023, which was through July of FY, or June 30th of 2023.
Yeah.
And it was about $100,000, or it was approaching the $100,000, so they thought of raising it. And we had asked for, the full accounting of,
The expenditures.
the whole thing. We saw everything, credits and debits into that account. I had forwarded it out. I don't know if everybody had a chance to look at it or.
In my transition, I may not
Okay,
have. I'm
that's
sorry.
fine. No, it's kind of like, I may have, not,
I think I got everything squared away now.
okay. Did you get your name squared away for, Zoom?
No, I'm still, yeah, good idea.
Okay, so, let's see. I gotta go to mail and get.
I thought she was asking for an additional 25,000.
No, she's not
Yeah.
asking for additional money. She's asking,
She wants to take money out of her revolving account.
And
right?
put it
well,
on.
she's not taking it. It's how much money can she use in a revolving account in the year? So it was set at 75, so the additional 25 is to
Oh,
move
that's
it,
what it is.
move it from
Yeah.
75 up
Okay.
to.
Yeah. And we were looking for the reasoning.
We were looking for the reasoning.
Yeah.
And we had seen one side of the ledger, which was expenses. And so the question was, what did.
What did he bring it in?
Right.
So did we receive that?
We received it. I forwarded it out. I just didn't know if there were questions, so.
You know, a lot of stuff went to my spam too. I wonder if that, I'll change that.
Uh, Trying to find the file.
That wasn't it that you were on?
That's just the expenses. It's,
Oh.
so let me go to mail. Files. And the ones we want are expenses. These with the EXP is expenses only. The detailed reports are, the details. And I requested all of FY '23, and where we are to date on FY '24. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit because everybody will be. So
Right.
they pulled all of the accounts, for recreation. So what we find that we have to locate is this account that ends with the 034 is the recreation revolving account. So that's the one we had the interest in. And what you'll see is in the first column, you'll have either receivables or payables
Yeah.
identified. And so this started in July of 2022. So that would be fiscal year 23 start. And then I'm just going to scroll down. It goes multiple pages. You can see as it goes to the page, we're still looking at the same account. And so anyway, where I'm going to go to with this is, see if I. With the request that we had in, I created a list of all of the fiscal years and the dates that were on that report and what the receivable was. And then there were a few that were marked as receivables and they were refunds. So we have the total column. So I just went through all of the entries and extracted them out of there and manually entered them in. When we look at the pivot table, we have for fiscal year '23, we have the total. Some of them, as we know, July through December of 2022 is the first half of fiscal year '23. And then we have the rest, January through June. And so there were deposits that total for fiscal year '23, the 81,329.
Of receivables for the whole.
Of receivables into that account. There was a balance to start.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw that back.
Yeah, back in the,
Yeah, I didn't see the number. I don't know what it was.
yeah, so, but, and the summary is always sitting on top, so. So we saw the ending balance that this is the 58,000. So when we talk about the expendables or the pay up, the debits were the 100 near 93,000, I think it was on the list. It's kind of, but as it comes, the numbers are looking right, that the money coming in and the money going out is closing in on that 100,000. So it's definitely more than the 75. And so this, if we approve moving to 100,000, it is, gives a little extra run room if they, yeah, a little bit more revenue for coming in.
So it's 25,000.
It's 25,000 more than we had voted, or more than the town voted at town meeting, and the selectmen had approved the 100,000 on the revolving, and so it is now before us to
approve, or not approve.
right, yeah, to approve and let the town accountant know that we have also approved on the 100,000.
And it was money that was already there, right?
There was some
It's
money,
their money.
there was some money there, but if we look on these lines, when we say receivables, we see the dates coming in, and as they get money from individuals into the treasury, they transfer it into the revolving account for these activities. And if we look, it's kind of like, as you get into the May and June, we're probably getting the summer signups for all the summer activities, and so you see those big.
So she has an afternoon program in the morning, or in early morning and
Yeah, so-
afternoon,
Um,
and then she does,
and then they do,
They do a lot. I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure.
so we don't have a breakout by what program it is, we only have the receivable into the account, we don't have that granularity into looking at it.
So they took in what, 100 and, what's that, 19?
Well, this fiscal year '23
Oh, okay, yeah,
was the 81,
yeah.
and to date, fiscal year '24, so the end.
Okay, I
First
see.
half of the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
is sitting at 32. So, again, the run rate and the really heavy stuff gets into the end of near the end
Summertime.
of the fiscal year.
So if I'm reading that though,
Yeah.
like the July to December, they're down almost $10,000.
Yes, I would say that.
Is that due to the decrease in number of children, and do we think that's gonna continue? Because I thought their programs were increasing.
Well, that's a question we would probably have. We don't usually see this on the budget, so this might be good questions for budget reviews as we look at it and moving into next year. Does she see it growing and moving back? You know, or do we have the right numbers? Have we missed a receivable in here? You know, if we look at last year, November had 5,000, November is missing a receivable this year.
Oh, okay.
So it is, for us, it's raising questions now about the account. So, you know, and the fact that we're looking at it partway through the year, if there was something in the accounting that's gonna get quick straightened out, because they can do journal entries at any time and fix it the date.
do they have programs during the day or at nighttime or
I don't think at night.
I think at night, but daytime.
daytime, other than the, before school and after school program? Are there other programs?
In the summer, I
I
think.
know
Yeah,
there's summer, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but during the,
I think the only other thing is that they have in the winter might be snow day.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Without, and they have, vouchers, you can do it by a 10 pack voucher or so,
Let's see.
and do it, so,
I-
you know, those may be some of the questions, but if, you know, we didn't invite Emmy in, but, you know, it's kind of like, and again, this is just first blush, trying to convert from that format to something we can look at. Kind of, and so, since this is the first time we're seeing it, yes, we probably had that question about this it's a $10,000 drop. First half to first half,
Yeah, I said.
fiscal year, yeah, it's kind of, so it's, certainly reasonable to ask those questions.
Right, and what happened in November?
Right, and again, if it is gonna drop,
Probably just miss it,
could be,
you know,
Yeah.
not entered.
Yep.
So that'd be half of it if it was the same as last
Right.
year.
yeah, and, yeah, so we can certainly go back with it, but, you know, looking at it based off the FY '23 numbers, the potential was there that if it does pop back in and the second half of the year exceeds last year's 38,000, then we will again exceed the 75,000. So, like I say, the 100,000 is just to continue that operation and look at. But we don't exceed the limits that we had set at town meeting. And again, you know, first time we're looking at it, maybe this is something we should be doing for all revolving accounts, is monitoring.
Reviewing and monitoring
Yeah.
this way, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It kind of,
Doesn't that list that this is part of do all the other revolving accounts? I know the Board of Health is in there and the police department is on it.
yeah, I had only asked for recreation department because that's the only one we were changing.
Oh, exactly. I
But we-
guess I misunderstood what he said. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, so, but if, you know, moving forward, maybe this is something to look at, to review it and monitor it just to see what the revolving accounts are. You know, are they operating as they should? It's kind of like, and then maybe I can speak with, the accountant and see if we can get this in a format that, rather than reading through and picking lines, we don't miss it and get it into, an actual Excel file that, doesn't need any translating from hard copy to my own file. You know, like I say, in this case, I just put together the fields that I thought were important to take a look at, like the date it was posted and what the amount of the receivable was, and then I threw in what year and fiscal year and what year the transaction was in. I mean, there were other things to do, but it's kind of like that was easiest to pull those things out.
Don,
Yes.
how long have we been using this sheet as a reference? It's been about 4 years, I think. Am I right?
The ledger history from the accountant?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
The
BBA, yeah.
the accountant, yeah, the revolving fund list that we voted town meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and In general, the revolving funds do come in, and we took one that I think it was for the high school. When they built the high school, there was a special revolving fund created, for the building inspector for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was
Remember
pulled off
that.
this year. But yeah, that list is, kind of good, so maybe that's back up before that article of, with these questions, that, we can support it and look for these kinds of, reports to reflect that it's, it makes perfect sense to make those recommendations.
Well, if particularly on this account, is it important, like the recycling account with the Board of Health? Because the operation is completely dependent upon those funds. And if they get too low
Yeah.
and we still want to provide the service, then that means they're gonna have to lean on tax dollars. And then
Yeah.
we simply can't afford that.
Agreed. Okay, so let's,
Is this something we need to vote on? We're gonna vote on tonight?
I think we need to vote on, I would like to get a motion and a vote on the 100,000 for, the recreation revolving fund, just to make sure we have that covered. And if we want, under new business, we can add, revolving fund evaluation for FY '25.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll make the motion that we up the rec fund to 100,000.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve the 100,000 for FY '24. Are there any additional questions from anybody? Any discussion? None being heard. So we take a roll call vote, please.
Carol Mazikas, yes.
Mark Hussey, yes.
Andrea Wood, yes, and because if they go under the amount or over, well, I don't know what happens if they go over, but under, it's their money already. So it's just going to, if there's money left over, it's just going to go back into the account. It's not gonna go into the general fund or anything. So, I actually see no harm in raising it except to encourage them to spend maybe more than is necessary.
On board here.
Okay, and Sam,
Yes,
and John Hayes, yes. So thank you, it's kind of like, yeah. Motion passes with 5-0. Unanimous. Okay, next, this was written, expecting that we were going to be mid-January, and so we would look at the December BVA report. That had been, the December BVA report had been sent out. And again, we've seen, this is the report we've been seeing for a lot of years. This is the monthly variance report that we get, and we can review, where things are with this. And I'll pick on the town administrator, since he's really the top line on the, let me blow this one up also, thank you. So, town administrator, on the first line, we are in December, we're halfway through the year, so that being said, we are about halfway, and it's showing that it's 50.37% of the line has been consumed halfway through the year. So that's a good number. We're on target, those kinds of things. Taking a look, where webmaster, that one's a little high. That's, I think, a stipend. He might have been doing some hours. Maybe it's something to look at for them to see if it was, time that was for the new, should have been against the special town meeting line for the new website, that kind of thing. Or is it increased activity to, maintain the old site? Nothing else seems out of whack, but if you haven't looked at the BBA,
And you sent that out with that last batch? Okay, I got it.
this batch was probably sent out, in June. We are now at January 30th. The 31st is tomorrow, so we should have a new BBA for January to get us through 7 months, coming shortly. So if you haven't looked at through the December, we'll take this and look through. But those are the kinds of things that I look for. Is anything outstanding in there that looks, that we may have questions about, that sort of thing. And this is every account as you go down, and the FinCom reserve account, we had held the first transfer for the lightning strike for the police department, so that one will be hitting. And when we see the January, this 50,000 for the reserve fund will be decreased by that first request for reserve account money. And again, as we talk about the reserve fund itself, when we look at the budget, this is about, if we look at the total budget, it's probably 0.2% of the total budget. And if we look at the town operating budget, break the schools out, it's about a 0.42%. So there's not really a lot of money here when we talk about this fund in relation to the total budgets. So,
Yeah.
and again, probably why we're being very cautious with when we approve things, because $50,000 can disappear quickly. Our dues and memberships, we have paid our MMA memberships, and that's about it so far. We'll see, they just jumped down a town account, and again, this is what we expect, 49.89% of the town accountant's salary that's been depleted, and so numbers are looking good. So if we want to get to that point of looking, we'll look at it and see how it compares to the FY25 budgets, and see if we're having trouble hitting it this year, how are we going to hit it next year, that kind of thing. So I would use it as a tool against the FY25 budgets that we look at, and see if anything stands out. And I'll tell you, maybe the IT stands out.
It generally does.
It generally does. We'll see if I can find that. Just to give us a line to look at. And again, we talked about this as we put it together last year. We would like to see this in 2 lines. This MIS professional services was combined software, the license fees that we paid for the Microsoft products were buried in here. So there was a very large hit in the first part of the year. And so the number hasn't been going up. It's been going up, but we don't know how much of it was that first line, which is the software licenses. So we've asked them to break that out next year. And that we have 2 of the professional services that we pay to Guardian, so that we can see the monthly charges and expenses we're getting there. versus the big one-time software license fee.
I mean, these are all contracts, so these numbers are all set, we should have
These-
them already.
These numbers are set, and Microsoft will change year to year.
Sure, but I mean, for the year we're talking about, those are set prices, I don't
Right.
understand why they're not showing it.
Yeah,
You know, to make it easier to understand, where's all this money going?
right, and so
You
that's.
know, a lot of it's contracts.
So, right, yeah. Yeah, agreed. So that's our BVA, and that's like I say, the one thing that really pops out to me. Legal counsel, so far, 40%, so a little under the 50% mark, so.
Wow,
You know, there's lots of telltale signs when you look in the BVA, you know.
yeah,
A little less litigation this year, maybe, it's kind of like, maybe it'll go up as we go, but, we'll see how that continues. Okay, any questions, Andrea or Sam, on BVA? Have you looked at it and had any questions about the report, what it contains?
you'll get us the next,
I'll get you the next.
yeah, that'd be great, and then we can sit at home and look at it and really
Mhm.
understand it better. Flag stuff like you have.
Okay, nothing to vote on there, I just wanted to make sure that we've got the information, it's there for us to look at, and we will be ready to go with it. Next item, again, we can use the BVA report that we have a little bit. I have not, had the opportunity to reach out to the police chief yet. I will be doing that, this week, to go over, in our last discussion, we held the request for, the elevator repair. So,
You know, I'm just curious, it's kind of off the wall, but, does the police department take care of the elevator? They pay for the inspection? Or does that fall under facilities who pays?
well, that's a good question, but, when we look at police, fire, highway,
Yeah,
and facilities, the police will take care of their building and put everything in. I've got displayed up.
so they list because I know it's wicked expensive every year to get these inspected, it's like
Mhm.
$500-600.
Right. So under, the highlighted, try to get the whole line here.
Then you gotta pay the elevator company
Yeah,
to attend with the elevator inspector, and they're even more.
So,
It's ridiculous, it's crazy.
so does each department, are they now, each department taking care of their own maintenance of the building?
yes, yeah. So when I have the line highlighted for police and fire, they put in 19,000 for the year. They did not anticipate that the, elevator was gonna need.
But I guess my question is, in that 10,000 is an elevator inspector's fee and the elevator
I would expect that.
mechanic fee to come out and stuff.
I would
That's-
expect
okay,
that's what he's getting. And
Yeah.
again, we don't have the details behind there, and
Yeah.
that's what we need to know when we see a request like this.
Yeah.
And what is your monthly contract? Under repair and maintenance, do you have a contract for $1,500 a month for,
For your
cleaning?
quarterly inspections or whatever, and
Yeah.
then, at the end, you got your final
Right.
inspection.
So here we are in now the 7th month.
Mhm.
You've got 5 months remaining. When we look at the budget, there's 8,400. If they're expending 1,600 a month, they will deplete it by the time they get there.
Yeah.
So does it make sense to us, for us to hold it or approve it and put it in to their budget now, for that? And again, this is all with the management of $50,000.
Yeah,
It's kind of like,
Right.
and taking a look at that, without that kind of information. And all that we've had in the past is the form that says, fill out your initial information.
yeah,
There's no background.
Correct.
Let's see.
So what do they have left in that bucket?
Right now, they have 8,474. That's, so
Well,
that,
that's back in December, right?
this is at the end of December. So what they
Right.
have in January, so if I go back to November, let's do that. Is it still blowing up that everybody
Yeah.
can see?
I think so.
And so if I do repair and maintenance of the building, they had 10,115
So they spent-
in November. So they spent about 1,600, 1,700
Yeah,
November to December. So if that's the run rate on that account, they will deplete the rest of this budget and need the money for this elevator repair. To be.
but at the same time, we have to be really frugal with that 50,000,
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, but, you know, and unanticipated. Now, we'll go the devil's advocate on this. If every department that has a repair and maintenance puts fluff into their budget, the budgets are gonna be high,
Yeah,
and everybody's gonna have leftover in the budget because they budgeted for money they weren't sure of, you know?
right.
I need $10,000 just in case something breaks.
And that would put us over,
And
the
that'll
budget
put
would be
us
too
over.
high, yeah.
It's kind of, so, yeah, the budgets aren't there. So it's a hard, it's a balance, and we don't want the department heads and that worrying, you know.
Well, it's something they gotta do. The state's gonna shut it down.
I
If
think,
they
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Maybe they already did it, I don't know.
I would think they already have done the repair. This is just now transferring the money to pay it, but so, let's see if I have it. Okay, so this will need to go up. If I can.
Okay, so they had just two deficiencies.
Right, yeah. And so,
Unless people wanna discuss it more, I'll make a motion.
just a little bit more, to go. What I thought is, as a follow-up or an addendum to go on the back of these requests, is that we highlight and ask them what the current balance is, give us the date that they had put it in,
Yeah,
and if they have any plans,
upcoming maintenance,
Upcoming maintenance.
scheduled maintenance, it hasn't.
how many,
yet.
how many months remain, and then is it, I mean, that, so, let's see, yeah, so if there were 10,000, we only had, you know, if there were 5 months left, we'd still be money in there
Right.
to pull it out. But there's, right now.
Did
we
you wanna
look at it,
request that before we voted on this? or-
Um,
And I have no,
yeah, we can see the run rate month over month.
yeah,
That he's actually running it at 1,600 in the budgets. If we use that, as the numbers,
yeah,
we had December, not January. So when we look at that, it is gonna go negative by the time we get there.
yeah.
Because this would include January and the following months.
So I guess, do we assume the run rate stays, or ask them, do you have anything?
That supports it like this.
Right.
It's kind of, we had
Right.
talked about asking these questions, and I hadn't put anything
Yeah.
really together. I had to get my mind around what are the questions? And then, so this is the regular plan. I mean, you know, that if they had a maintenance contract, something like that, or, you know, to come in and clean the facility, something.
Right, right.
And then, you know, or other planned usages, if they, you know, if they had 2 or 3 other usages, that they were gonna use this money for, they could certainly fill out.
And they could have contractual obligations already, you know, a PM that's coming up next month, that's gonna
Yeah.
use 1,600.
Right.
If they could tell us that, then it's a no-brainer.
Right. Exactly, that's the sort of thing, we're going on just balances
And
the
run rates.
and run rates, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like, so this gives us that ability, and by doing this, documenting, codifying it, we give all the department heads the understanding of, we're gonna be looking for this kind of information,
Right.
it's not just fill out this form.
So do we want to do that this time around, or get something out to everybody and say, this is how it's gonna work from now on, that we want back on?
I think
We need it, so
Right.
we can make,
we need it,
Correct
and to
decisions.
try to streamline the process when the request gets in front of us.
Yeah.
We're asking for this, we'll be asking for this.
right, maybe it's a little form like that you fill out,
Mhm.
whatever.
Right, and attach the
Yeah.
backside.
Yeah, I totally.
It doesn't have to be an Excel spreadsheet, I just use this
Right,
as, does
there's
this
a
make
few
sense?
numbers you gotta put in, what's
Yeah.
upcoming that you know
Right.
of, and.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right, and because that gets to, when we had the conversation last month, Andrea brought up that we don't always wait till it's gonna go negative. If we can see that trend going, we can help be on the front end.
right, do you expect the trend to continue, or is it gonna be? Yeah.
So, I'm good either way, that we could vote on this request that is in front of us right now. We are now,
And then change the process,
and then change the process for.
it might be the fairest way, I guess.
I think it might be the fairest way, because there was nothing
There
written.
was nothing written now, but if we can possibly get that out and make it stick,
Mhm.
that'd be a big help to us all,
Yeah, and
and the town.
the town, it's kind of like, and-
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead
yeah,
and make the motion that, make the request for 3420 for the elevator repair for the police department, transfer from the reserve fund in accordance with chapter 460 of 40, section 6.
okay, we have a motion to approve the amount requested by the police department. Do we have a second?
Second,
Jalen, seconds. Any further discussion, questions on the phone, Sam or Andrea?
No.
Okay, none being heard, could I have a roll call vote?
Carol Mazekas, yes.
Mark Hussey, yes?
Andrea Wood, yes.
Sam Grant, yes. Road collection, no fun.
And Don Hayes, yes, thank you.
So how do we need to vote on making that form or anything?
On the process?
On the process, changing the process?
I think we should bring it, write up a process here, agree to it, wordsmith it.
Yeah,
and
okay.
then-
So on board too.
Yeah, I just don't, I think that's gonna be a really good tool for us,
Hmm, Yeah.
all around.
agreed, and it's kind of like, and I will still meet with the chief to get his input, because
Yeah.
we're using him as the example,
Sure,
in this, and that's how we move forward.
perfect.
Okay, I had put, next, so that was item, what will be for on the agenda with the new one added.
Yeah.
So the next was to review the budget guidance memo. We had looked at this in December, I'm not sure whether everybody was here or not, I did forward it out. But I just wanted to make sure, I can bring it up, and we can look at it, or I can resend it if everybody just wants to send it and not bring it up on the screen.
I'm good with it, I remember it quite well, but that's just me, so.
Yeah.
Anybody else, please speak up.
Okay, I'm not hearing anything, so. Does it, you want it resent, because moving forward from here, we're gonna start looking at the budgets, and so that was how the budgets were put together by each of the departments, so. I will send it again, just to follow up, I did not include it when I sent, when I forwarded the budgets in the zip file. Next, I had review for the FY 25 budget review schedule. Teresa is with us in the last, is North Middlesex Regional School District coming in next Tuesday?
That's my understanding.
Okay. So we can, so
And
we
we did
had,
have last Tuesday,
last Tuesday
we
was,
had
yeah, Nichelle,
technical school.
yeah, Nichelle
Yeah.
Beck was there. So,
What
Excuse
about
me,
February 6th?
that's February 6th.
Correct.
And that's North Middlesex? What you said?
Yes, North Middlesex is coming in to present to, selectmen.
So we'll come to that meeting also?
I would say I would presume we're gonna try to do a joint again with that.
What time would that meeting be?
6, is it?
6.
Yeah, if it's the same as last time, they open the meeting and then go into the joint, and they are the first presenters from the audience.
And what time is that?
It was 6:05,
Oh, 6, okay.
yeah.
excuse me, I
Yes.
have a question.
Yeah.
When North Middlesex comes to the meeting, are they coming with a budget or just a spiel like the technical school had? To me, if they just come in and drop off it or, information, but you can't compare any of that information to the actual budget or look at the budget and ask questions regarding what they said to the budget, it's just a waste of time.
Pretty much.
Okay, yeah, my understanding is it's they're presenting the budget, with the
Was
numbers.
that your understanding the last time? That was my understanding the last time as well, with the technical school, but that's not what happened.
Right, and they only had, they were missing a couple of the key numbers. The cherry sheets weren't finished. They came out 2 days after they had presented. So not sure if North Middlesex will have integrated those numbers into their information.
Well, Thursday morning, we're going in the show for check.
Right.
Final.
Yeah, and Thursday,
And then you'll probably see numbers.
we'll see the numbers
Yeah.
and,
That's their yearly breakfast there at 9:30 at Neshoba Tech.
Oh, yeah, that was right across where I used to work.
We're all invited.
Maybe I'll, when is it?
Thursday,
Thursday morning,
Thursday.
9:30.
9:30.
Thursday
Just
doesn't
let them
sound
know.
good, something's going, I don't know, there's something going on, and I'll see, I don't know.
Yeah, but look at the schedule.
Yeah, the schedule of the retired guy.
Look at, there's my schedule for a retired person.
You just scribbled on every block on the page on the calendar. 3 lines. So my understanding is we are allowed to ask questions. It shouldn't be just a presentation. We gotta see how they put.
So they'll have some numbers there.
They should have numbers, that they're gonna look. They said they were negotiating with 5 business units this year, so, we need to see the numbers, even if they're preliminary, to see what
Right,
they
so
are. We kind of, try to get that. After that, and I don't have a date yet, Board of Selectmen wanted to have a joint meeting to discuss the schools and the ARPA funds. On a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock.
What day is that?
It's not set.
It's not set, yeah.
It's not
Oh,
set
not
yet.
saying, okay.
There'll be another one for that. And then, so if the only one I had, a date for was March 9th is the budget summit that we do the all day. 2/3, 3/4 of a day on a Saturday.
On a Saturday.
To bring everybody.
Is that set in stone on the 9th?
Then that one was set in stone. It kind of.
Do we know what time?
9 o'clock is the start. So then the rest of it becomes, when do we want to meet finance committee and start going over budgets and getting our questions in line.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, and,
We have to contact people though too, am I right?
we can contact people and ask them to come in. It's kind of like, so if we look between, we've got 5 weeks between now and the 9th. And if we're doing it on Tuesdays and doing every other, I don't know that we have enough time.
I don't, you got 5 weeks? I don't think, 2, 3, 4.
6, yeah, we got February 6th, 13, 20, and 27, and then March 5th. Between now and then.
March 5th, isn't that the elections?
March 5th is the elections. We're not gonna meet March 5th.
No.
Okay, so we don't have 5 weeks on Tuesdays.
So do we want to do like a Tuesday and a Thursday, skip a week and just a Tuesday, then Tuesday and Thursday, then just
So
Tuesday?
that could be, or do we go every other, or when the selectmen are meeting on Tuesdays, we can't do Tuesday at 6. But we could do,
Tuesday at 4.
yeah, it's kinda, I'll get an email to Josh and.
Yeah, find out if that's even possible.
Yeah.
We,
If it-
you know, do a 4, and
Right.
then we'll do a Thursday,
I think
and then
that's,
the next week just do one Tuesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday, is that making sense?
I think it'd be the other way. It's a Tuesday, Thursday when the selectmen aren't meeting.
Oh,
And
okay,
then-
yeah, okay,
then
all
a
right, yeah,
And a
okay,
Thursday only when the
Sure.
selectmen are meeting.
yeah,
So
So,
that brings you down to,
because we'd be kicking it, doing two a week
right,
for 2 weeks or
yeah,
3
okay.
weeks.
Yeah.
So when will be your first one? The 8th?
I would
Which
say
is a
we're gonna
Thursday?
request the 8th. Yeah.
Okay,
And that's Thursday?
okay.
At what time?
Do we wanna push Josh on Thursdays and do 4 o'clock on Thursdays?
It's up to everybody, you know, I'm,
And then 2,
Well, let's just set the dates first.
Yeah.
Then we can decide.
okay, yeah, okay,
So we
so,
got the 8th,
we get the 8th, and then we would have the 13th,
13th, okay,
which is a Tuesday.
okay.
Then if we're gonna do 2 in that week, we would also have 2/15.
The 15th, okay.
and that would be a Thursday.
Mhm.
And then the next week would be selectmen on Tuesday, so we would have
Thursday.
Thursday, the 22nd.
1, 2,
It's
3,
4.
4. Can we do the 27th?
And we can do the 27th because the selectmen are meeting. And if we have to, we've got the extra day in February, and then a week later on March 7th. On the Thursday, just to keep it to a constant,
Right, so
Consistent
possibly
day.
Thursday, the 29th?
possibly Thursday, the 29th. And the 7th, just to have them out there if we need them.
And that's a Thursday again, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because we can't do the 5th.
And we
And that
don't-
would be a selectman.
Okay, and we don't know what time these are gonna take place either.
No,
Yeah, I'm gonna say 6 o'clock on the Tuesdays. And I'll see if I can push to 4 o'clock on the Thursdays.
Good.
Yeah. I've been mostly talking about it in the room here. Andrea and Sam, you good with Tuesdays are 6 o'clock, Thursdays are 4 o'clock?
Oh, it's all, the schedule's fine with me.
Okay,
Only Tuesdays, we have only 2 of them.
yes,
Okay, Gil, thank you for the confirmation. And 14th.
yeah.
and again, this is us putting together a schedule. I have to go to TCAM and get Zoom calls and all that. It's a little pending, but this is our schedule. And I didn't want to go to Fridays. Fridays, when you look at the calendar, is the least is the most open day for.
For a reason.
Yeah, for a reason, for a reason. It's kind of like, but we are.
Years ago, the town hall was closed on Friday, and nobody ever picked up the use of it again after that.
I'm closed on Fridays.
Yeah, I just throw it out, it's kind of like when you look at the calendar, you can see how busy Tuesday you are. And Thursdays
You
is
gotta
the
get these
second one.
posted too.
I gotta get-
Kathy.
Yeah, so I'll get them posted, I will get them assigned, posted, and then if agendas change. Now, the question would
Well,
be,
that took up February, the month of February.
Yeah, I did.
yeah, they kind of like, and so I guess the list would be, do we want to start on the 8th with a full list, look at all the departments and see who we want to get in on the other, on
Oh,
the other days?
I think that's a good idea because there's some budgets that we
We don't need-
probably won't want to talk to, they're either
Right,
level
right.
funded or so small we won't question them.
Right.
yeah.
Now, on the 8th, that's Thursday, I was gonna say,
Is everybody gonna have their budgets ready?
the-
Yeah.
It should
the-
be in now.
most of them are in now.
Are they in
It's
now?
kinda like they
Good.
were, if I didn't forward it, I think I got one more today. Most of them were in, the recreation ones got updated, so the bulk of them came in the zip file. Then there was a recreation update, and I think there was one more that came in. There may be one or two outstanding that we don't have yet. But just to kick it off, because it's usually nice and easy and she follows the rules, the guidance.
Mm-hmm.
I just say for practice and give it,
Have Kathy
I'd
come in.
invite Kathy
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
on the
that's
8th,
a good idea.
Mhm.
and we can go through town clerk.
It'll get us in the mode.
I guess.
So with 4 PM for Thursdays? 6
4 PM for Thursday? Yep, 4 and 6, yep.
Yeah,
So trying to balance it between Josh and see, he may be able to, make a 4 o'clock just one day a week.
Or maybe remotely even.
Right, yeah, exactly, so,
Again, it's not, I don't wanna make it harder on him either, so.
right, exactly, I mean, he's.
But it's
still-
not this study, I just want to make sure. that-
Thursday, the 8th is our start.
Okay.
So, I will get a schedule out, email to
Hopefully
everybody.
we have the.
Oh, yeah,
fire
this
chief
Thursday,
this
we're,
Thursday.
yeah.
Which is one of them that
And
you
you said
won't, don't
Rogers,
have yet.
he has nothing, huh? Roger Reposa had nothing for us?
What?
You had mentioned Roger had nothing for us for capital? Yeah, good.
I'll check again on that tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so we have a tentative schedule. We'll start with Kathy and then we'll build our list of who else we have coming in on the additional meetings. So that takes us into the new business. The other item I did move to new business that we brought up was, we will add the reviewing the revolving accounts and see if that makes sense, get the report, may work with, Katie to see, if I can get them in another form that, makes it quicker to create
Yeah,
analysis. But I think that's just an item because it's its own standalone item on the agenda at town meetings on the warrant. So I think we should have a good backup and review of that to say, yes, these are good numbers and
Yeah.
we agree with. Because this is the second year in a row that I recall having to come in and vote a change to a revolving. Last year.
is it
was
the
two.
second? Did we do? Yeah, I don't
We did it
remember.
last year and we did 2 revolving accounts and that was a lot closer to town meeting. So this gives us that opportunity to get another look at it and make sure that warrant article has value in it that
Mhm.
we anticipate. Okay, we've gone through the agenda. Does anybody else have anything that in the new business that we hadn't discussed yet? Nothing being heard.
So next, the 30th, at 6 o'clock, and we have the fire coming in and What else?
On
That's
capital.
capital.
That's
plan.
capital.
Oh, it's capital.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, that sounds
Oh,
familiar.
That's-
Hopefully facilities, who is supposed to be here today, so I'm gonna
But you
tell.
know, I think, for some reason, Rob may have had that confused, because I saw him downstairs, I would have sworn he said he was coming
Well,
Thursday.
maybe he thought he was
Mm.
coming, so maybe that's why he thinks he's coming, but he was on the agenda for today.
Okay,
But I'll talk to Eric and make sure he knows he's coming in.
this coming
Because he
Thursday.
did send a workbook, so he might have just had the days confused.
Right. Okay. So that's this Thursday.
That's this Thursday, 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And if you have a meeting at 6 afterwards and go to the Townsend House, I would like to attend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'll
Okay,
even
that's a good
attend the
idea.
Downton House.
Have the whole meeting there, if it's on your Zoom.
The Lions Club does it, why can't we,
I don't
right?
know.
Not that anybody would ever do that to
Oh, I
me,
know.
just head out and just leave me here all by my lonesome
Okay,
between
um,
me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, if we have nothing else, I would entertain the motion to adjourn at 7:12 p.m.
I make the motion, we adjourn the meeting at 7:12.
Roll call vote.
Gerald Mazekas, yes.
Mark Hussey, yes?
Henry Wood, yes.
Sam Grant, yes.
Don Hayes, yes. We stand adjourned. Thank you all, and this was the last short one. Again.
I do.